That's okay. We don't always agree. But disrespect is not allowed. Foul language is not allowed. Hitting me with your hand is not allowed. I would urge children not to hit their parents. Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Coach Fatimah, co-founder of Outstanding Muslim Parents, just one of the co-founders of Outstanding Muslim Parents. In this video, let's get right on this topic. A friend of mine reached out to me and she said, can I ask you a question about what do you do when your children start to disrespect you? And she said, a viewer wanted me to directly ask this to you because she kind of didn't want to reach out all the way. Now, I do get that. And this person, may Allah help her, make it easier for her. She's dealing with somebody that's a young adult. And a lot of us do have children or young adults as our children. And there'll always be children kind of to us because we are their parent. But that does not mean they're void of adulthood. And one thing that I told her that rings so true, and I've done this with my own children, I still do it to this day, is that we set healthy boundaries of respect from child to parent from an early age. They know they cannot use foul language in front of us. They know they cannot strike us. They know they better not say anything disrespectful to us as their parents, because there's so many different sacrifices we've made, and we're here before them because that's what Allah Ta'ala wanted for us. And that's part of our timeline. The sequence in which people are born is already written, and we know that full well, and we can't change that. We don't have the privilege to change it. So I'm their parent because Allah Ta'ala knew it was written for us all, myself and my children, just in different ways. They're to receive me as my children, and I'm to receive them as their children. They're to receive me as their mother, I should say, and I'm to receive them as my children. And that matters, because if you skip over that respect that your child is supposed to have with you, don't embed that in them early on at a very early age, then they'll lose sight of it later on, and they'll think, I could talk to you like I do with my friends. Well, as I stated before, children can talk to their friends any kind of way they want to, and they can argue with their friends and maybe even strike their friends, hit their friends in their heart with their hand. They're not safe from their friend's hand if it gets out of control and there's a breakdown in communication. This can too happen with parents. There can be domestic violence among parents and children in the Muslim community, and we don't talk about that enough, and we don't shed light on it enough, but it does happen. Now, there can be physical violence with the hand. There can be violence out of the mouth. Out of the mouth. They can call names. They can spread gossip. They can diminish the parent. They can talk over the parent. They can disrespect the rules of the parent. They don't have to speak a word. They might come in after the parent gave them the curfew. That's a form of disrespect. And especially if they're very cavalier about it, nonchalant about it. It's a form of disrespect. There's different layers of disrespect, but it is difficult to unring the bell or reinvent the wheel. But if you've gotten to the point where you're dealing with your child who's now an adult or young adult or tween or preteen, I should say, then it's time before it gets out of control to say, I know what happened before, but what happened before is not serving our relationship from parent to child. And we have to set some boundaries. And one of the boundaries is thus and so. Don't raise your voice. Don't. And then when we do ask for respect, we would want to practice things that are to be respectable or respected. So, for example, I'll give you an example. If we're telling our child to offer salat and then they see that we're not, they're not going to respect us as a Muslim, as a parent, when they don't see us do what we ask of them. So it's very important. So now, is it measured the same among Muslims? It's measured, salat is measured the same amongst us all. We're not going to listen to an imam or sheikh that doesn't offer select. It's going to be, wait a minute, this is a major sin. Why would I listen to the rest of what you have to say? Or you lost a lot of respect that I had built up for you. So it's important, yes, absolutely, absolutely. But it must start at an earlier age because, again, it is difficult to go back. So my advice to her was they need to sit down and create some very serious boundaries for communication. I know you're frustrated. I know you're angry. I know you don't have the words or the tools to tell me how you feel or what's going on with you. But let's start with respect. And I'm your parent. And I'm going to respect you too. But it is not for you to come in my home and be disrespectful of me and call me out of my name or whatever the case may be. I won't allow that, because if you do that, then here are the repercussions. And oftentimes parents have to say, well, this young adult cannot remain here if I'm not safe from their hand or from their words. And you might have to find some provisions for that young adult. If they don't live with you, they need to go back to where they live and take a break. Or go to college where they're living and take a break. Because what would happen is once we start speaking these violent words, things can reach a crescendo, and before you know it, then someone's hitting someone else. And it becomes violent on another level. So we must, inshallah, always be careful of our intentions among each other and upon each other and our family, and make sure that our environment around us is safe for our children, for us too. My children, all of them, know that I have always been safe from their hand. Safe from their hand. And they know they can't use certain language in front of me. And they know so many different things. And I love the fact that they respect me in that way. But they couldn't do it and wouldn't have the tools if I didn't give them the rules earlier on or the boundaries earlier on. They knew it happened when they were very young. Even my daughter, who is 27 years old, very soon knows that. And she's married and she has a child. And she knows. You don't talk to the parents this way. You don't talk to Umi this way. You don't talk to Abu this way. You have to pull back. Even if that means taking a couple days, or even if that means, okay, I don't agree with you, but this is how I feel. That's okay. We don't always agree. But disrespect is not allowed. Foul language is not allowed. Hitting me with your hand is not allowed. I would urge children not to hit their parents. My children know not to hit me. And they don't have the desire. So I know that about them. They're good people. There's some of the most amazing people I've ever met have been my children. And they've been some of my greatest teachers too. So it's not just, I'm just teaching all this stuff to them. They have taught me as well as they've grown. Even when they were little, they taught me. And I told a funny story about my daughter, my third daughter. I had a pain and she was just drinking a cup of water, and she's about 9, 10 years old. This was years ago because she's in her 20s now. And she goes, gallbladder. She just sips her water. I went, had an ultrasound. She was right. She was studying anatomy in school. So she taught me something. And I love that about her. And she was very grown up at 9, and she's still very grown up in her 20s and very much a lady. All my daughters and all my children have taught me. So yes, create those healthy boundaries. Remember to be that mentor, that celebrity, that coach, that confidant. Those 3 C's matter. They matter so much to the balance of parenting. So with that being said, I hope you guys got some gems from this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe, because when we share these videos, we're getting the message out, and sharing is caring. And down in the comments, I want to know, what is your favorite age group to raise? Toddlers are hilarious. The toddler years are funny. Busy, but very funny years because they're running through the house, they're kind of talking and saying things, and they're babies, and then they're kind of getting out of the baby stage. I love that age group in K5. That age, 5 years old, is hilarious. So with that being said, make sure you all watch the rest of our video library. We have an abundance of information here on Outstanding Muslim Parents, best practices for best results, and those 3 C's again matter. So make sure you guys are checking out those videos as well for more information. Check us out at outstandingmuslimparents.com. Coach Fatimah, I'll see you all in the next one. Assalamu alaikum. Peace.
Assalamu alaikum. Peace. I'm Coach Nadir.
And I'm Coach Fatimah.
And I'm Coach Nyla.
And we are the founders of Outstanding Muslim Parents. I want to introduce you to something that you may be interested in because you seem like a proactive parent already just by the video we interrupted. All right. And that's called the OMP Inner Circle. That's where we all train deep dive into parenting. So whether that's the first stage of children up to 7 years old, or 8 to preteen in the second stage, or of course the teenagers and young adults in the third stage, we deep dive with the 3 C's as well as the 3 E's. So what our members get every single month, all of our students, they get brand new training every single week. That includes downloadable audios, downloadable worksheets, so you can deep dive into it. And of course, you have our personal email addresses as well. However, every single month, we have a live Q&A for all of our students. So we go to answer the questions or deal with different challenges and things that they may be dealing with parenting, because we know it's an ongoing struggle. Just us, here being parents of 12 children.
Right.
Okay. So with that being said, I want to congratulate you on being proactive.
And make sure you click the link below in the description, and we'll let you get back to the video. Assalamu alaikum.
Peace.
Peace.